Well, good morning, my friends. How you doing, Mike?
Good, Carlos. How are you?
I'm having an awesome day. It's Friday. There's that song like "It's Friday Day." It's
I
it's
know
time to start partying.
even with your countdown video, it's like I was awake already, but that if I wasn't, I would be now after that. That's great.
Yeah. So, my friends, I'm here with Mike. Mike and I are both technology leaders in the channel space. And through everything, we have been talking about how to keep adding value to everyone that we work with. And there's some great things that we are working on. And we say, hey, what if we start a session, a show every Friday to talk about technology, the leadership in the technology space, how we can connect with others and say, hey, let's try it. Let's do it. So,
Here we are.
Mike, even the dog is happy.
The
So,
dog is
Mike,
happy. Yeah.
the floor is yours. Tell us a little bit about yourself and where you are.
Yeah. So I've been. This is just about a month at Datto. So I'm excited to join you in the team here. But I've spent 27 years in the tech industry, always channel related. So I started as a channel partner, working for some of the resellers that were around at the time. I worked for a Microsoft partner selling services for a few years, which was a great learning experience, right? How do you sell outcomes, right? Like what is the future state of their company and how they'll feel and benefit from all of that versus just shipping product. That helped me transition into an 11-year career at Microsoft. So I started in the sales organization. I worked in solution sales. I worked on a technical event team that was talking to partners about building services practice around Microsoft products, and did a variety of other roles there during my time. And since moved on and worked at GE Healthcare for a year, Progress Software, leading a field marketing team, as well as global partner marketing. And then for the last 7 years, it was really interesting. I spent it in the channel vendor space. So, channel software applications that are designed to help companies run their channel programs. So, through partner marketing, MDF, partner portals, those kind of things. So, it was a great opportunity to work with a lot of leading brands in the channel and understand what they're trying to do through their channel programs and give them advice and recommendations about how to be successful. So, all of that brings me here now to Datto, where we have really an amazing opportunity, I think, with the MSP partners that we serve and how we wake up every day and create technology and tools that help them serve the needs of their SMB customers. So that's like the more than you wanted to know maybe about me, but that's just the bit of background.
Oh, but that's awesome. When I see that you're a hobbyist, you're 3D printing something. Uh, so that tell me that you're not stagnant. You're trying something new. So I'm like, what are you 3D printing?
Yeah, so we did the 3D printer was a COVID hobby for my son and I. My son is 14, and as COVID was starting last year, was just kind of thinking like, hey, we're going to need something to kind of keep our attention because school was going, remote and all those things. So we picked up the 3D printer for $200 at Micro Center. So
Wow.
really small investment, right? This technology has come. And so we've had fun with it for the last year and a half of just kind of picking different things. So right now we're working on a pumpkin. I don't know. I'll hold it here in the camera. So this
Oh,
is the
that's so
pumpkin.
cool.
This took 13 hours to print yesterday, believe it or not. And then now I'm working on the lid and other pieces. He picks the designs, and then I kind of supervise the printing as it goes. It's mostly kind of set and forget kind of stuff, but yeah, that's running. And my other hobby are the I'll point to the wall behind me. So the other kind of big hobby that I picked up during COVID was drone photography, and specifically lighthouses here in New England and flying around. So all those pictures up there are all pictures that I've taken with the drone.
Oh, we're gonna have to talk because I'm looking for a drone for some of the other stuff that I do. Um, so, Mike, interestingly enough, you mentioned a couple of things that are very close to me, and is the idea on how the channel can actually eliminate some of their pain point. And there's something that is happening next week, and let me share here real quick. There's something happening next week that we are going to be there. So DattoCon. This
Yeah,
is
it's
really cool.
yeah. I mean, my only disappointment, of course, is like everyone. I've heard about the DattoCon events from the past. I've seen some of the videos. Um, like Snoop Dogg coming out first thing in the morning to start the crowd and warm up before Austin, our founder, came on stage. So some pretty cool stuff. So that being said, I just know what the team is planning for next Wednesday, and it's going to be a great DattoCon. As good as you can do in the virtual world, it's going to be an exciting event and a lot of great information that the teams are preparing to share with all of the participants.
Yeah, so interestingly enough, the whole idea of DattoCon, um, you and I have been exposed to the big Microsoft space when they used to do, I don't know if you remember TechNet, when it used to be called TechNet, and then it went to Ignite. So this big, huge conferences that are focused on the enterprise. But one of the things that it actually caught my attention is that this is the same, but focus on the MSP market. And that is a really, really important detail that actually help us understand that there's a value to take the time to think about their business and their technology together.
Yeah, and I think that that's the important piece to focus on is that my understanding is that this is the single largest MSP focused event that happens all year. And it's grown over the years, right, with the number of participants. But what I found really interesting and compelling about Datto as I learned about the company this year and then made the decision to join is that it really is a team of people who wake up every day thinking about MSPs and what their needs are and how we deliver tools and experiences and remove friction from the business processes to enable MSPs to focus on serving their customers. And DattoCon is really kind of the big event that showcases a lot of that and brings a lot of the information out to MSPs to help them continue to think about what's coming next and to be ahead of the market and what the needs of customers are. One thing that we all know about channel partners in general is any minute that you spend away from your customers needs to provide value back to your customers, right? So if you're going to invest time in spending a day with us on DattoCon, it needs to give you information, resources, programs, incentives, whatever it happens to be that you can take back to customers to help them solve their problems. And again, having seen a lot of the content that's in development, I know that the team's working hard on that and will give good value. And I think that that's where, it's a very competitive space that we're all in. MSPs are in, Datto is in, customers. I think COVID really stress tested a lot of systems, a lot of companies. And now, we're still not done with it, right? It's still kind of the test. Even an article that I read in the Boston Globe this morning talking about one of the main reasons there are shortages of products on shelves is because there aren't enough truck drivers, right? So like, these, the challenges are far reaching and not quick fixes for any of them. But, I think coming back to MSPs and what their needs are, that's what we're focused on and trying to find solutions that we can put forth that will provide that benefit so that they can turn it around, give it to their customers and solve some problems.
And talking about solutions, you and I have been working on something that I used to dream about when I was leading teams on the enterprise space. And looking at it right now, I'm like, wow, that is really, number one, cool. But then at the same time, is very powerful. That is the idea of what if we can remove the complexity of having to provide disaster recovery in the cloud. And a lot of people think that, hey, you can automatically, just because you move to the cloud, you have done that. And it's interesting how the different companies see a disaster. From your experience with all the partners that you have worked with, how important is to have a solution or to simplify those processes, to provide simplified solutions for them?
Yeah, I've been doing this stuff long enough that the event roadshow that I used to do at Microsoft was called TS2, and we would go out. I don't even know what TS2 stood for, but we'd go on the road and talk to partners, and it was largely talking about Windows Small Business Server or just Small Business Server. It had many names along the years, but if you remember those days, right, we're talking about put this one server into a small business customer's environment. It delivers all the services. It's integrated. It's scripted. It's kind of one setup to give you the file sharing, the domain, email, all those things. But then we would talk about backup, like, hey, yeah, don't forget to have backup. And you're backing up to tape and then taking those things off site, right? Because in case that building burned down, at the time, that seemed right, like the right thing to do. But boy, was like life simple then compared to what it's like now. Now you've got cyber criminals, I should say, who are attacking MSPs to get their creds to then be able to go into all of their customers, lock them up with ransomware, and delete all the backups and hold people hostage, right? So the level of complexity, and people are like, oh, it'll never happen to me or never happen to SMBs. It's happening, right? There is even, Microsoft just put out a new study yesterday, their digital crime report about what's happening and where it's coming from and who it's impacting. That's worth the read. The implications for MSPs, of course, are that whether you like it or not, backup is always important. We think about, I got to back it up in case Carlos goes in and accidentally deletes a document or an email and wants to get it back. And of course, that scenario remains. But the threat of ransomware, where the attack surface just keeps getting wider, right? If you think about people are on email all day and just open something on their phone, and before they know it, they accidentally launched something that has nefarious kind of intent. So there are a lot of points of entry. There's a lot of exposure. It's more than just, oops, I deleted a file. So having a product, having solutions that can bring it to the cloud, but then not only just, back it up in the cloud, but also provide a second backup essentially, which is what our solution that you're referring to, the data continuity for Microsoft Azure, right? So backs it up in Azure, in our instance of Azure, but then also moves it over and puts it into the Datto cloud as well. So there's yet another copy of it. That's unfortunately the world that we live in, and the needs of customers and MSPs at this point creates a need for that kind of solution.
So talking about that, I love the idea. And as you're watching this, my friends, make sure that you drop your comments. I see some of you connected. Let me just put something here on we're testing the whole idea of what we're doing. But one of the important details is how easy it is for someone to just think that the cloud provider is responsible for protecting the data. And when I talk to partners, when I talk to executives, they think that because someone else now owns the infrastructure, they keep the idea of, oh, before I used to own the data center, so I was responsible. Now, it could be on Azure, it could be on AWS, it could be on GCP, it could be on anyone. But then the responsibility is on the data owner who owns the data. So in this case, is the customer. And I love what we have been able to accomplish. And if you want more information, you can go here to datto.com/Azure. And you can see and get some information about what DCMA is. That is Data Continuity for Microsoft Azure. And I love the simplicity. Number one, I'm the one working on it. And like my guys are actually doing demos and helping partners understand the simplicity of it. Like the first time that I love technology. So I love to geek out and to do a bunch of stuff, but I'm looking at what will be the return on my investment. If I had to invest, like you said, $1, can I get 2 back? What is that domino that I can remove so I can say, oh, this helped me in this area? And it was really interesting when the first time that I look at it, I'm like, I used to pay millions of dollars for having something that was not as good and as simple. Literally, I used to manage the data center for one of the largest trading floors for energy. And when we had to do the R, we were literally hot between two data centers at any given point in time. Because if we were down, we could not sell energy. So people could not have energy, and you could be on the east or on the west or on the north, on the south, and it had to go through us.
And you owned all of that hardware and software that supported that too, right? It wasn't like someone
That's what I was
else's and you
doing.
just subscribed to it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I had a team that was involving all that. Then we had to go somewhere else, then to automate all that. And when I saw that literally I could do 4 clicks and I am ready to go. And then, but the kicker was, okay, that's good. When I have to test it, I'm like, wait, so I can just test while I'm in production and I don't have to do anything else? Doesn't matter that I have the biggest cloud in Azure. I don't have that flexibility. And that's what, when I started looking at it, and I'm like, oh, wow. And it sounds like a commercial, but I love technology and I love to be able to simplify the problems, because it wasn't until one time that one of the executive VPs that I work for told me this phrase. He said, Carlos, I need you to give up your power. And he told me that on a Friday afternoon. So I thought that he was getting ready to fire me.
Oh, man.
So I was really straight with him. And I said, okay, wait. Are you firing me? And he said, no. Listen to me. You are very efficient at what you do. And as a leader, you're really good. But I need you not here. I need you higher. So you need to use your time effectively and teach your people. So that was a very good example for me, that anytime that I can help someone eliminate the repetitive processes and to simplify it, I can do that. And it was great to see that now with DCMA, we're helping partners. We have partners that told us that they have hundreds of instances that before they couldn't see if they were successful or not. And now we have a simple interface that actually can just show you that. And RSCs are really excited about it because it's simple. It's the same thing. You don't have to retrain people. So I'm really excited about what we're going to be sharing on DattoCon, because it's going to help transform the businesses the way that they are right now to a new era in the cloud.
Yeah, and I think that what, again, me coming in new a short time ago, you coming to Datto earlier this year, we inherit a great legacy of what the company has built, both in reputation and in solutions. And I think that that's what, Datto has a great reputation in the industry, and more to go, right? There's more areas to solve. And I think what's nice about this extension to Azure is that it really is an extension of what partners have done with Datto previously in continuity, disaster recovery, backup, right? Now being able to extend that to the cloud workload. So, the movement to the cloud for SMBs it's underway. It's not as rapid, I think, probably as enterprises, but think of an SMB today that if they were going to start their business would want to actually deploy servers on site in their office versus just get an internet hookup, right, and be able to go to the cloud. So how we transition existing SMBs, provide that support and continuity. You look at natural disasters that, the 100-year storms that now happen a lot more frequently than 100 years. You look at the ransomware. You look at, things like people say, even for cloud data centers, oh, they're never going to go down. But then all of a sudden, one of the telecom providers gets hit. And if you can't get across the internet to them, right? So the challenges are many. What I like about what we're doing here is that there's a lot of planning and creativity going into how we plan ahead for those scenarios to help MSPs provide business continuity to their customers. And I think a lot of the MSPs that I've talked to so far, and looking forward to talking to more. So if anybody's watching, they want to talk and kind of share their perspective, would certainly love to hear that. It's something that we can all be proud of the work that we do, to try to help protect customers and their digital assets. And again, DattoCon is going to be a great place to come and hear from our executive team, our product owners, and to get more of that. So yeah, perfect timing there with popping DattoCon up on the screen. It's going to be a great event, and still time to register, and it's a free event. So
Yeah.
there's no reason not to sign up and get access.
So my friends, Mike and I are going to be coming live on Fridays at 9 o'clock. The idea is to share, communicate, share some best practices, what we're seeing on the industry, on the Microsoft space. So we invite you so you can be with us every Friday here. Could be if you're listening to us on LinkedIn Live, if you're listening to us on Facebook, on YouTube, probably on Twitter. I had to reset Twitch because Twitch got hacked this weekend. But we will be everywhere because we want to add value to you, because when you grow, we grow. So my friends, has been awesome to see you. We have several people connecting from different places. We have from Philly. We have from, I think KC is Kentucky, correct?
Kansas City.
Kansas City.
Yeah.
So with everything, my friends, has been awesome to see you. Make sure that you share this video with your team so we can all grow, and we'll see you next Friday.